Good Erev Shabbos, Parshas Reeh. Tomorrow is not only Parshas Reeh, but it is Shabbos Mevarchim. I would like to acknowledge, as on the outset, the historic event which was announced just yesterday of the peace agreement between Israel and the United Arab Emirates. With God's help and God's blessing, this should, God willing, be another step in bringing peace and security to the people of the Middle East, and allowing Israel and the Jewish people to flourish, and indeed bringing peace to the world at large. Very often, the Torah tells us what we should do and what we shouldn't do, and with great specificity. However, there is a pasuk in tomorrow's Sedra that tells us a prohibition which is a little unclear. Says the pasuk, Lo sasun kein lashem elokechem. Do not so do to Hashem your God. What should we not be doing to Hashem, our God? So some suggest that you have to look at the context of the psukim before and after. And what becomes clear is that we should not conduct ourselves like the pagan idolaters. The Avodah Zarah practice was to worship and offer sacrifices wherever they may be, in any location, hill, valley, plain, didn't make a difference. However, by contrast, lo sasun kein, we should not do like the practices of the pagan idolaters. Instead, l'shichno sidrushu uvasa shama. We should seek out Hashem in His place, in His makom, in the Beis Hamikdash, and that is where we offer the karbanos. Now, it is true that one can serve Hashem wherever they may be. But the most intense, the most intimate, the most pure and pristine avoda occurs where we can have the most intimate relationship with the Ribono Shel Olam, and that is where His presence dwells, in the Beis Hamikdash, in the temple, in the physical domain of those walls. And therefore, lo sasun kein, don't do like the idolaters, offer karbanos anywhere. Rather, l'shichno sidrushu vasa shama, seek out Hashem in His place, to have the most pure, pristine, intense, and intimate relationship with the divine, and the benefits that accrue from that. And it seems to me that that's something worthwhile for us to think about as we, with God's help, begin to transition from a corona way of life back to a normal way of life. Of course, safety, health, and security are primary in all our decision-making, but to the extent that we are able to join minyanim in shul, in the mikdash ma'at, in a safe and healthful way, we should find ourselves back in shul and not allow ourselves to follow the ways that are not traditionally Jewish, and that is to daven anywhere, to do the avodah any place, in any scenario. It's doable, but the most pure, pristine, intimate, and intense relationship with all the benefits that can accrue in the mikdash, and in our case, in the mikdash ma'at. There's a second approach which I'd like to share from the name of the Kotzker Rebbe, who says, Lo sasun kein means, you shall not do Cain. What does that exactly mean? You shall not do Cain, you shall not do yes in our service of Hashem. In other words, we should not simply go about, going about our regular life, just serving Hashem in a routine and rote manner. Just say yes to it. It's, we do this, we do that, we do the other thing, we do daven, we do our avodas Hashem. We do it sort of as yes men. That's what the word Cain means. It means yes. What does it mean to be a yes man? It means that you don't really think about what you're doing, you don't even necessarily believe what you're doing, but you do it because it's part of the routine. You've been asked to do it, so you do it. Yes, yes, yes. We shouldn't be yes men or women. Lo sasun kein, we should not do so when it comes to our avodas Hashem. To be mindless, thoughtless, automatons, without spiritual ambition, without intellectual curiosity, without emotional verve, just things going along, getting along. Lo sasun kein. Don't be a yes man or woman when it comes to our avodas Hashem. In fact, when we approach life, and when we approach our avodas Hashem in particular, through the lens of just rote and routine, it becomes a vacuous, empty vessel. And it is also self-defeating, because who can really accomplish in life, whether it's secular or spiritual matters, if we are just simply going along and getting along? If we don't notice when things, if we don't take notice of ourselves and have self-awareness, if we don't take notice of our neighbors, of their needs, of their requirements, if we don't take notice of the needs of the community, if we just assume this is how it is and this is always how it's been, this is always how it'll be, yes, it's fine, yes, man, then that's exactly what we will, the outcome that we will produce. I go back to where I started. I would imagine that not even 6 months ago, or 6 years ago, or a decade ago, the idea of Israel forging a peace agreement with the United Arab Emirates would seem absolutely unimaginable. And but things change, and things can change dramatically in life, for the better, for the good. We have to have the ability to be aware and notice that things can be different. Things can be different in my personal life, in my marriage, in my relationship to my children, in my social relationships, in my work scenario, in my work environment. Things can be different in my spiritual domain. That it can be better. It can be more meaningful. It can be more all-encompassing and more vivacious. It can be something that animates my life, rather than something that simply is an extension of my other responsibilities that I do through the course of my day. Things can be different. They don't have to always just be the same. Lo sa'asun kain. Don't do that when it comes to our avodas Hashem. Just allow ourselves to see things as they are. This is how they are, and not allow for the possibility of change, and change for the better. So it seems to me that a week such as this, it is worthwhile for us to think about Cain and Lo. It's good to say yes, but sometimes it's good not to say yes. It's good not to be the yes man or the yes woman. May HaKadosh Baruch Hu give us the capability, the interest, the inquiry, the inquisitiveness, the curiosity, the energy to be able to see ourselves and the world around us, the possibilities for better, the possibilities for change. Kei Nihi Ratzon, have a great Shabbos.